which is item 3A1, the nomination of Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument. Mr. Namuo, I'm going to ask the two who have signed up, the two community beneficiaries who signed up, if they would speak now, and then we'll take your comments, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, first is Mililani Trask, followed by William Isla.
I think it would be good if Bill and I both sat down together in case there's questions. Good morning, trustees. I had wanted just first to give you an update from yesterday because we received the memo from the Westpac, the federal Westpac, that they are joining the petitioners now in requesting that the UNESCO defer. We redid our memo and we have now attached this for you. The exhibits I did not have to attach. I'm asking that the trustees try to obtain a copy of Exhibit C, and I already had mentioned this to Colette. Exhibit C is the list of the trust assets in the fisheries, and the report from Westpac that shows that we have significant trust assets up there and that they're in a good condition. I also noticed in the documents yesterday that you only had half of the letter that was sent by Kalani Meineke and Ruby Light Kavena Johnson and others to the Department of Interior. They had recommended, as members of the advisory committee, that a name relating to Lono be designated. And they had provided this to the advisory committee, but they were ignored, and so they sent it directly to the Department of Interior. Trustee Heen had asked yesterday, how could we go about addressing this, avoiding this if we defer? How do we work with the Obama administration and others for a solution? We actually do have a document, a strategy document for this. Some of it has been shared with Heidi. We have asked the attorneys now if they will agree so that we can release this to Judge Heen. Our organization agrees. The NACOA and the Kuani Foundation agreed to release this document. The attorneys for La'akea Suganuma have agreed, but we have not yet heard from the attorneys for HRH Princess Kekaulike Kuana NACOA. We had notified the board yesterday that we had received the memorandum of the Federal Bar Association, which did an investigation into this matter in early 2009, and in August of 2009 they published their research findings that the Bush Proclamation was illegal, that it could not diminish the status or jurisdiction of the Westpac. They also have an excellent section on the Pew Foundation's involvement in this. Now, we didn't know this when the petition was filed with UNESCO and the United States ambassador in May, but the Federal Bar Association members received the petition through the UN and offered their services in litigation. That is when we went to request that 2 additional Hawaiian organizations join us, and these are the 2 that already successfully sued the Hui Malama. We very much would like to avoid litigation. We very much would like to work with our President Obama to correct the deficiencies that we find in the Bush Proclamation. And some of them are astounding in that the Bush Proclamation and the entire management plan never recognizes any rights in small case and Hawaiians. The entire management plan is for large case and Hawaiians, which you support. But your primary beneficiary is the Native Hawaiian of 50% blood. We also notice throughout your documents that there's repeated reference to public hearings, public meetings. Our request to the UNESCO is for Native Hawaiian consultation, which is somewhat different in that when you have consultation with the federal government, with any government, the Native peoples are determining their rights. There's 140,000 square miles of Hawaii that have been federalized through the proclamation, and nowhere is there recognition of the small case and Hawaiian. Nowhere. We believe that there's significant resources there that have yet to be inventoried. We acknowledge that OHA, although it is a lead state agency, doesn't really have a scientific staff. You don't really have a boat that goes up to the Northwest. You don't really have the capacity to inventory the fisheries there that I'm valuing, with the understanding that this is a figure, ballpark figure from Westpac. We value it at $5 billion. This is from Westpac. Now, I'm not sure if this is just the bottom fish fisheries or all 7 fisheries, because we have crustacean and other fisheries as well. If you check the reserve documentation, which I supported, and I supported the sanctuary, all the way through the documentation there was a promise that Native Hawaiians, small n, would be recognized. Subsistence rights, including fishing rights for our people, would be included. But now we see that in the last 4 years, not a single reference to the small case Native Hawaiian. All fishing banned. No Native Hawaiian fishing, no commercial fishing. And this is why I'm hoping you will look at Exhibit C to the Westpac. They're setting out our resources there, and it's significant. $5 billion estimate. I think we need to work with the Obama administration to determine how we can best ensure that the Native Hawaiian of 50% blood in their assets are going to be addressed in this management plan before it goes any further.
Trustee Trask, you're going on 15 minutes, and William Isla's going to speak, and we have 2 more people who want to speak on this issue. So I'm going to ask if you can kind of summarize at this point, so we can go on.
You know, I have
the other people who are speaking.
Okay, Haunani.
Just for the trustees' benefit, I think there's a video camera on the table in front of Trustee Akana, so just for your information.
Where is it?
Thank you. Go ahead.
Right there.
Go ahead, Mililani, finish up, please.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
We have this proposal, and I'll try and get the permission of the attorneys to release it to you. I think we have a good opportunity here to resolve this thing in a positive way. We have a new president. He's currently reviewing the declaration, and that is what is in our petition. He already supports federal recognition of our peoples. This Bush proclamation left the small case Native Hawaiian out. And the one thing I want you to take a look at is that when it came time to put together the MOU over these trust assets, our trustees, this office, were left out. Only the DLNR was put in. Why was the Native Hawaiian trustee left out? Only Fish and Wildlife were put in. Only the NOAA was put in. Why was the Westpac left out along with our fisheries? We think we can get OHA and Westpac back in and move to secure our fishing rights and other rights. Let's not take this thing to court. I read Heidi's memo. It would be an embarrassment to Obama, but I'll tell you one thing, it's not going to be as much of an embarrassment. This board votes to support this. We will then proceed to the federal district court. We have to sue the office of the president. I really don't want to sue Obama over what Bush has done. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee Trask. William Isla,